If you're planning a vacation or holiday to Walt Disney World, Florida, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be doing a series of vlogs on planning your holiday to Walt Disney World, and lots more.
Hey, we're going to need a bigger bowl.
Hi, I'm Sue.
I'm Roy.
And we are
Ta-ta for now.
Just a little bit about us before we get on with the planning. We've been travelling to the States since 1987 and it's become our favourite holiday destination. We love the country, the people and the culture, and we're so fortunate enough to have had some wonderful trips to Florida.
Yes, we have. And
are passionate about all things Disney, Universal, Orlando, and a wealth of attractions, both inside and outside of the parks. So we thought we'd start this vlog, so quite new to this, start this vlog to share our experiences and hope that you will also do so as well. So where do you start? Why do we need to plan? In 2017, the average trip of a Disney World holiday for a family of 4 from the UK, according to the Telegraph, as you told me to say, was £7,289. Of course, this can vary considerably depending on the wants and needs of your family, but for many people, going to Disney World is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. It was supposed to be that for us, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a once-in-a-lifetime.
We kept going back, yeah.
More than once.
Yeah, a lot more than once. So in order to get the most out of your holiday, you do need to plan. Now, we've seen people, haven't we, that plan their holiday with such precision. It's like a military operation, which is absolutely fine if that's how you like to do things, and you're that organised. We like to be organised, but we also like the flexibility. So that kind of thing doesn't work for us. But we still have to have a plan, whether we're going as a couple or whether we're going in a large group. This year we're going as a party of 7, so planning is really important because everybody wants to do something differently. Okay, so next up, what do you want to see and what do you want to do? It's vast. And to give you some sort of comparison, Disney World in itself is as big as Greater Manchester in the UK. It's got 6 parks, Universal's got 3, and then there's SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, plus there's a whole lot of other attractions within the Orlando area and further afield, such as the beaches, Kennedy Space Centre, we went last year, and it just goes on and on. You won't get to do everything. So make a list of everybody's must-sees and do's, as this also will affect your budget and the type of tickets that you purchase. And once you planned your theme parks, just ditch the rest. Okay, and now for the warning. When we first started travelling to Disney, we and the kids were completely overwhelmed with all the amazing merchandise. The kids came home dressed head to foot in everything Disney. They had large cuddly Tiggers. In fact, he's still up here and he's over 20 years old. Winnie the Pooh, Bambi, Thumper, Stitch, Buzz Lightyear, all tucked under their arms coming through Gatwick Airport. So you've got to remember that everything is marketed as a magic or precious moment, and Disney do an amazing job, don't they?
They do.
In creating that experience. And you've only got to watch one of their promotional videos to see, the actors skipping down Main Street with beaming smiles, just so happy, super excited. And just totally absorbed in that precious moment, which sells it, and that could be you. But don't forget, it's a huge commercial business and they want you to spend as much of your money as possible, but actually holidays and vacations are only last a week or 2, so don't come back broke. Or spend the rest of the year paying for it, because when you return to the grey skies and the rain in good old Blighty, wearing all your best Disney merch, might not just feel quite the same when you're skipping around the magical atmosphere of Disney with your ears on. So we warned you. So next up is when to go. There's no off season at Disney World anymore, and the annual attendance continues to increase, and that obviously increases the wait times and the hotel occupancy. However, in general, the parks are busier at Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, and during the school holidays. It seems like all of the year, doesn't it? Really,
Well,
it's
yeah,
busy,
it is
and
now.
it is busy.
Yeah.
Also, just to mention as well that the children in the States, school children in the States, start their holidays earlier and go back to school earlier than children in the UK. So that does have an impact also on the parks. If you're travelling alone or as a couple, you have far more flexibility to travel when you want to and get a good deal. But for families who've got school age children in the UK, you're very limited, and particularly now due to the issues of taking children out of school during term times, where parents can be fined up to £65 by local authorities for doing so. Some of you in the UK might be familiar with the case of Platt versus the Isle of Wight, when Mr. Platt took his daughter out of school in 2015 to visit Disney World and got taken to court and then subsequently lost his appeal. Also, during the school holidays, the cost of a trip to Walt Disney World soars, but soars not like soaring in
Not
a
like
good
the
way,
right way, no.
no. So you can actually expect to pay an additional 18% or £1,455. Just because it's during the school holidays. Another thing to consider that in the summer it's very hot and humid. I mean, you can remember, can't
Yes.
you? Waiting for the parade with
Yeah.
our 3 kids, and it was like 100 degrees out there. This year we're going the last week of August and the first week of September. Now, whilst qualitatively that is supposed to be the worst week in Walt Disney World because it's the end of the actual peak season, but it's also the start of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party and also the Epcot festival. So we would expect there to be sort of a moderate crowd at that time of year.
Yep.
And we also found when we've gone at that time of year that the first week is much busier than the second week, which is the September week.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up is flights, and we're actually going to be doing a separate vlog about this and air miles and carriers. But in general speaking, you would expect to pay anywhere from £500 to over £1,000 for flights. I mean, that obviously depends on when you travel, who the carrier is, and the class of flight that you want. This year we're travelling economy, and that's because that meets the needs of our older kids that are coming with us in terms of their budget. I mean, our preference is Virgin Premium, isn't it?
Always enjoyed their flights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll come on to that at a later date. The other thing is car hire. Again, we've got a separate vlog coming up on car hire, driving in the US, and just getting around without a car, because we've also had holidays where we didn't have a car, especially early on. When I'd say you do more driving than I do, but we had less confidence in the early days of driving out there. But since then, we've done a lot of road trips through the States. So just again, a sort of average cost per couple for a 2-week car hire would be about £400, and the cost for 2 adults and 2 kids during the school holidays would be around the same, about £400, but obviously that doesn't include the child seats. Because the other thing you're going to need and you're going to have to pay for is Esters. Now, Esters stands for the Electronic System for Travel Authorisation. Basically it's an automated system used to determine the eligibility of visitors to the US. It costs $14, lasts for 2 years, and you'll need to apply about 72 hours in advance, although we do ours much earlier, and we had to renew our Esters this year. And it just means going online and make sure that you are on the Department of Homeland Security official website. Because
there are other websites and they will try and charge you a fee to do this for you, but you don't do that. You don't need to do that. It's a waste of money.
Right, you're also going to need travel insurance. This is a must, because if you have an accident or you hurt yourself or you suffer a loss or theft, your magical holiday is swiftly going to turn into something out of the Universal Halloween Horror Nights. If you need medical care while you're in the US, you will have to pay American medical fees, and they can be really high. So do your homework, use a travel insurance comparison website to find a good deal. I also just want to add, it's also recommended that you are covered for up to 10 million's worth of medical expenses. Okay, so next up is accommodation, a big subject, and we've got a separate vlog coming up about that, where we'll be discussing the pros and cons of staying on site and staying off site. If you are staying on site at Disney, they do budget, moderate and deluxe hotel accommodation, and for a couple staying there for 2 weeks, you're probably looking at a starting price of $1,399. If you're staying in a villa as a couple for 2 weeks, you're looking probably at a starting price of around £800. Bearing in mind, the closer the villa is to Disney, the more you're going to pay. If you're staying off-site in a motel, hotel, then you're looking at a starting price of £500. It's just an estimate, a rough guide, okay? If you're staying as 2 adults and 2 children during the school holidays for 2 weeks, you're looking at a starting price of $1,399 for Disney, £800 for a villa, and £500 for off-site, a motel or hotel. Also, not forgetting Universal, they also have 5 official on-site hotels and a 6th one, the Aventura. So am I saying that right?
Aventura.
Due to open in August of this year. They also offer Premier, Preferred and Prime Value, which will suit your budget. Park tickets, okay? Again, we're going to be doing a separate vlog about this, because it's such a big area to cover. We're going to discuss that in more detail another time, and just weighing up the best deals. But again, to give you some idea of what you need to budget for, you're looking for a couple between £186 and just over £1,000, and that very much dependent on the theme parks that you choose. The cost for 2 adults and 2 kids during the school holidays, looking at between £366 and £1,950, again depending on the theme parks you choose and what package you've got. Okay, so finally, is going to be your spending money, and I think that is very, very individual, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
As to how much you want to spend,
yeah.
And your budget. So we would estimate, and it is only an estimate, that you need an absolute minimum budget of £65 to £70 per person per day, which is roughly $100. And that would cover your eating, your drinks, your parking. Or, I mean, obviously, if you're planning to shop at the outlets, which I love to do, and can't resist all the Disney and Universal merchandise, and you're going to need a lot more for your budget. Yeah, I don't actually practice what I'm preaching.
No, you do not. No.
Okay. All right. So that's it. So once you've factored in all those items we featured in terms of planning and budgeting for your holiday, you can get on with the next part, which is a bit more fun, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
As said, we've got vlogs coming up on all the individual subjects we've spoken about tonight. Hopefully be able to give you some hints and tips in terms of your planning your holiday. We've got a lot more coming up as well in terms of our trip this year to Disney 2018. More trips we've got in the pipeline coming up, and also we're going to do a bit of Old Blighty, aren't we, and go to some historic sites.
Yes,
so we can show hopefully people across the other side of the pond what we've got on offer in the good old UK. So if you like what you see, please have a look around our channel. Please subscribe if you want. Drop us a line or a comment. I think it's somewhere at the bottom that you can make comments, or let us know if there's something else you'd like to see. If we can be of any help to you, then we will be. So that was us, and it's ta-ta.
Ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now.